Hello YouTube, Calibur Gamer with another Soul Calibur 4 video. Now I wanted to expand more on what I've been saying in the last few videos of Soul Calibur talking about Ivy, because I feel like I didn't say much in my thoughts, because like I said, I always wonder why Ivy dressed up like that. I know she's a sadist and her art style, her design is based on BDSM, which is very obvious and clear. The only other character that, you know, has that design is Valdo, and Valdo is clearly based on BDSM and sadomasochist. I just jump off the stage. And yeah, in a universe where everything is deadly and you interact with demon, it makes zero sense for Ivy to dress up like that. So it makes me wonder why she does that. But when you read the lore, things will start to make sense slowly. And what do I mean by that? In the lore, Ivy was adopted, and her adopted father was an alchemist, and he was obsessed with immortality. Now, immortality is going to be a theme in this video game, or should I say the series of Soul Calibur. And because the adopted father of Ivy failed to gain immortality, eventually he went mad and he eventually died. Ivy, because she was very close to her adopted parents, and her adopted parents were from a noble family, she wanted to honor that family by continue her adopted father work. And the reason why I have to say adopted father is because eventually Ivy discovered her real biological father. Her real biological father is a menacing zombie pirate that was cursed by the Soul Blade. And the Soul Blade, or should I say Soul Edge, I'm not exactly sure. But the Soul Blade was evil and corrupting her. Ooh, perfect, twice in a row. Not corrupting her, corrupting him, the Ivy's father. And because of that, Ivy was trying to destroy this Soul Edge. This artifact, the Soul Edge, is the exact same artifact that Ivy's adopted father was obsessing because of. He was trying to do alchemy, but he is also discovering that the Soul Edge grants people immortality. So Ivy, realizing that this Soul Edge was like the source of her parents' suffering, she vowed to destroy the Soul Edge, even if it means it destroys her. So you could say Ivy was on a suicide mission, which she really was, if you think about it. But what's interesting about Ivy is that when she tries to continue her father's work of gaining immortality through alchemy and using magical, superpowers, Ivy, you could say she was semi-successful. And I say the word semi-successful because if you pay attention to this character, like how she's designed and how she appears, it's very obvious that Ivy is very mature. Like, she's obviously an adult, but we don't know her exact, well, we do know her exact age if you read the lore. She's like in her mid-20s. And she, you could say that she's the tallest woman. I think she is. She's the tallest woman out of all females. And when you read more about her lore, it was very clear that she conducted alchemy on herself. In other words, she really did experimentation on herself in order to achieve what her father failed. Her adopted father failed. Oh, there's her real dad, Carvanes. That's a zombie pirate that I was talking about. Well, her adopted father attempted immortality. I know that I keep repeating that, but the point I'm trying to say is that Ivy was semi-successful in that department. So Ivy, in a sense, is not a normal human. thanks to her self-experimentation and her attempts to gain immortality. Ivy is more akin to a superhuman. So think of other um, science fiction and of course medieval fantasy that features superhumans like The Witcher and Metroid, Nintendo, and of course Halo from Combat Evolved. If you think about those franchise, they all feature superhumans. In this Nintendo series of Metroid, Samus Zero Suit, she is a superhuman and she's a very tall, attractive female. In The Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, he is a, you could say, a superhuman that's designed to hunt monster. And the way they made superhumans was through alchemy, just like in Soul Calibur with Ivy. And of course, Halo Combat Evolved, they were making Super Soldier, and of course they made Master Chief. So why I bring that subject up is because, like I said, I'm trying to get to the point of why Ivy dressed up like that. And the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Ivy, I truly believe this because they expanded in Soul Calibur 5 about this. Ivy achieved what I like to call semi-immortality. She's not fully immortal. She could still die if she gets, you know, butchered very horrifically. But in my opinion, if Ivy gets hurt, if she gets slashed, cut, impaled, she's gonna reheal and regenerate as if nothing happened. Why? Because she has semi-immortality. And in my opinion, I think that sort of makes sense. On top of that, if you think about, you know, why she dressed up like that and the fact that she's a sadist with, you know, a flustering for BDSM. Wow, I've never seen that move before. Well, then again, I never fight the lizard man. This is my first time fighting that lizard man. No joke, guys. So if you think about Ivy, hobby of being a BDSM sadomasochist, because she's clearly a sadist and she's like a task mistress. Couple that with semi-immortality, the fact that she is above average superhuman, like she's a superwoman, basically. It starts to make sense, and more importantly, it makes more sense if Ivy has super healing and regeneration ability. So, in the intro of Soul Calibur 4, you see Ivy finding a armored woman, a woman that's literally armor up, head to toe, wearing metal. And Ivy, she's dressed up like this in a volcanic environment where she could get burned, melted. And since she's fighting a armored woman, she could easily get impaled, slash, butchered to death. And yet Ivy don't give a damn. In matter of fact, in the intro of this game, you literally see Ivy charging in to the female knight's weapon. So it's like Ivy has a weird sexual death wish, if that makes any sense. But if you read the background, read the lore, and understand Ivy's personality, it starts to make sense. And if I was Ivy, let's just say I went to the Soul Calibur universe and became one of the characters, hence I became Ivy, I would have done the same thing. I would dress up like that. Because, you know, it's like a cockiness, like, oh, nothing could hurt me. Well, I could still feel pain, but I'm not gonna die from getting hacked and slashed. So it makes more sense. On top of that, if you think about the art style and the creators of this game is Japanese based. Oh, I won. This game is Japanese based, and the creators or the owners of this game are the same creators that made Dark Souls. So weird stuff like this is, you know, not uncommon for them. On top of that, Japan, they have this anime called Rin Bellor Minisu, where a sexy female detective is immortal and she cannot die through normal means. in that anime, she literally uses her body like a tool to get what she needs, especially for her investigation. And I have a gut feeling the creators of this game, they kind of got inspiration of that anime when it comes to making Ivy. And the more I think about it, the more it makes sense, because once again, the theme of immortality is here. And if Ivy is semi-immortal, without a doubt, she will take advantage of that. Take advantage of her semi-immortality. Take advantage of her regeneration ability. The fact that she cannot die like a normal human. And she could absorb punishment. And she embraced that through dressing up like a taskmistress. So if you think about it, it makes much more sense. Damn, I lost. Oh, I'll try one more time. Man, Ivy is so awesome in this game.
Battle 1. Fight.
On top of that, I do think that's also part of the marketing, because once again, they're trying to sell this game, and yes, sexy women do sell. When Soul Calibur 4 was coming out, I couldn't remember there were talks about Ivy, why she looks so provocative. And it makes more sense why when you look at the fan base and the sales of this game. Oh man, I can't remember. Oh, there you go, one. That was so close. Man, I love her physics. Ivy's so amazing. But yeah, to come in the conclusion, guys, I truly believe that the reason why Ivy dressed up like that is because she is semi-immortal, and thanks to her semi-immortality, I do believe that Ivy has some, you know, hyper healing and regeneration ability. Thus, she's able to take damage like a boss, if that makes sense. So not only she's a sadist, but she's somewhat of a masochist, just like Waldo. And Waldo is the only character aside from Ivy that dressed very provocatively like this. And her dress, just like Waldo, is, you know, based on BDSM. Think about it, guys. Every other character, they dress accordingly to, you know, their character of what they are. But Ivy and Waldo, they're the only characters that I could think of that dress that's based on BDSM. Man, I lost it. Oh well, I think I'm gonna end it here because I ranted enough. But thank you guys for listening, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you like my explanation of Ivy. Because, yeah, it makes more sense if a superhuman female has near, or somewhat semi-immortality, and she takes full advantage of that, especially exposing herself. I mean, look at that. Ivy, she's exposing her butt, her breast, and including, you know, her thing between the thigh. So yeah, it makes more sense. Well guys, I'm gonna end it here, and please leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially your theory on Ivy. And I really hope they make Soul Calibur 7. I hope. Thank you guys, and goodbye.